Well, hello there and welcome back to the studio. My name is Kayla and today's video is actually a tutorial on some new Halloween garland I've made and have available as digital downloads in my Etsy shop. There are two different ones, as you can see, so the next screen will show you some timestamps for when I actually start talking about the directions for each one if you want to just skip ahead. If you've just found this video and want some Halloween garland, you can head over to kayladraws.com, or I'll have a link to the garland in my description box below. They are both digital downloads, so that means you can print them out at home and just cut them with scissors and add a hole punch to the top. Or if you have one, you can upload it to your Cricut machine, which I'm about to talk about right now. All right, this is voiceover Kayla now to kind of guide you through the process. But first off, here is our materials list. So if you want to screen capture that or jot these items down, it's everything you will need. Okay, so once you purchase the garland from my shop, you'll get these digital download files, all PNG files. Right now we're going to focus on the Halloween party garland. And once you have those downloaded to your computer, we're going to open up Cricut Design Space and hit New Project. Then on the left side of your screen, we're going to hit that Upload button. Then you're going to choose Upload Image, Browse, find those files wherever you put them. I have them on my desktop in a folder called Digital Downloads. All right, here's our first page we're going to be working with. We open that, and as you can see, there's no background there. So that's what makes it a PNG file. The background is transparent. I always choose complex cuts for everything I make, just to be safe, and then make sure you choose the print then cut image option. That's very important because obviously we want to print out our design before cutting it. Okay, there it is now, and we just add to canvas. Now, as you can see over here on the right, there's a little exclamation point saying that the file is too large. So if you're using 8.5 by 11 inch paper, which I imagine most people are, we're going to want to adjust that size to fit the paper. If you're using a bigger paper, you can go ahead and change the page size. But for now, we're just going to make sure this lock icon is locked at the top of the screen and go to the width and do the maximum width, which is 6.75. We hit enter and it resizes itself. Now we're going to make it. That's what it should look like for you. Hit continue. We send to printer. You don't really need to add bleed, so I turn that off, and we're going to use the system dialog here. So when you hit print there, usually the system dialog box will be behind the Cricut Design Space for some reason. I don't know why. But we do want to head over to the quality and media section of your printer's display. Then we want to go to either, if you have a matte photo paper option, that's what I like to use for the cardstock. And I like to change the print quality to high just to, have the best possible look. All right, from there we can hit print. Just make sure your printer is loaded up with some of that cardstock. And here comes our print. And now this is ready to be put onto the Cricut mat. I use a standard grip mat and it works fine. And we can just load that into the Cricut machine. Just make sure in your Cricut Design Space that you've set the base material to heavy cardstock. I'm using the 100 lb setting, but obviously that's going to depend on which cardstock you're using. This is just basic cardstock from Michaels. They usually have a buy one get one special on this cardstock. And now we let the Cricut do its thing. All right, we take this over to the desk now, and we're just gonna peel everything off. So there's our little kitty. And you'll have 2 candy corns on this sheet. And then last but not least is our pumpkin head friend. Now, if you're cutting this out by hand, you'll just have to cut around the edges and do a hole punch there at the top. These shapes aren't anything too complex, so I think you'll be fine if you want to use scissors to do this as well. Oh, if these little dots are bothering you on your Cricut mat, you can just scrape them off with a ruler or other straight edge. And here's our page number 2 of the Halloween party garland with our little twinkle bat. I think he looks so cute. And then we have 3 more candy corns, so you should have 5 altogether. And then he is probably the most simple design, but I really love this Skelly. He ended up really cute. He might be my favorite. I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite. Anyways, once we have that all peeled off the mat, we are going to get our twine or string. Ironically, I am using some twine from Target. That's like from their Christmas section a few years ago. But whatever works. Whatever you have on hand. You can get butcher's, I think it's called baker's twine or butcher's twine on Amazon. I'll leave links to everything in the description box just to help out if you don't want to go to Target or Michael's. Totally understandable. Okay, we want to cut a clean edge off the string there, so you will need some scissors for this part too. And then we start with our candy corn, and I realized it looks better if you go from back to front for this one. It just hangs better. So we do our candy corn, then one of the characters. It doesn't really matter who goes first. It's totally up to you how you want to do this. So there's our pumpkin guy, another candy corn in between before adding the next character. I went with the cat since they're on the same sheet together, I guess. That's why. I don't know why, honestly. Okay, then another candy corn. Just remember to get those candy corns in between or else it's just not going to look right. Okay, then we have our twinkle bat. And as you can see here, the string gets a little frayed as you push it through each hole. So you might want to use a longer piece than what you are, like whatever area you're using this for, measure it out and then give yourself some extra string in case it gets frayed while you're doing this. Or at the end here, you'll see that I'm going to tie some loops on the ends of the string. And there's all our characters ready to go. So like I said, right now I'm going to show you how to loop the end of the string, even though at the end of this video you'll see that I just tape it to the wall, but I actually discovered after doing that you could loop the string like this and then hang the garland from some command strip hooks for, I guess, a classier look if that's what you're going for. And if you don't care, then tape works too. And now this garland is ready to go up. So in the next scene, we're going to talk about the kawaii garland, if you got both of them, or if you just got the kawaii garland and you skipped ahead, welcome to this tutorial now. Okay, so here's our kawaii Halloween garland. Once you download it, you can open a new project in your Cricut design space. Then on the left side of the screen, hit upload. Browse for the files. Usually putting it on your desktop makes it easier. I put mine in a folder called Digital Downloads, and there is our first page. Now I always pick complex files for everything I make in Cricut Design Space just to be safe. And here you can see that background is transparent, so the Cricut machine will cut out those holes. And now make sure you choose a print then cut image and upload it. And there it is in our Cricut design space. Now we're going to add that to the canvas. And this part's going to be repetitive if you just watch the other scene, but now see here, there's an exclamation point that's telling us that we need to reduce the image size to this much. If you're using a different page size, then good for you, do what you want. This is just for people using 8.5 by 11 inch paper. So just make sure that little lock icon up there is locked, and you could do the width at 6.75. Then we're gonna make it, hit continue, and send to printer. Use system dialog and turn off the add bleed option. Now behind the Cricut design space is where your system dialog box will come up. Hit quality and media, and then see what your printer has as an option for like matte photo paper, just to make this look better. Also do the print quality as high. It's just, this is the best way to have your garland looking as nice as it possibly can. So here is the page fresh out of the printer. As you can see here, you can also just print it out, cut around the edges of each character, and then where those circles are, do your hole punching. So if you don't have a Cricut machine, just follow around the shapes of each character and punch where those 2 white dots are on each character. Okay, now that we have it, we can load it up to our standard grip Cricut mat. Just make sure in the Cricut design space you set the base material as heavy cardstock. I sometimes do the more option, but the default option should be fine for this cardstock paper, which I'm using just the regular cardstock paper from Michaels. And there goes our little Cricut machine cutting out those holes. And it goes around each character a few times since we have the heavy cardstock setting on there. And now that that's done, we can peel off each character from the mat. There's our little pumpkin guy. And those are the holes we'll be putting the string through. Again, they're all pretty simple shapes to cut out with scissors if you do not have a Cricut machine. And there's our bats coming off the mat. And here are our ghosts and other little bats. Now, if this page looks different than what you got, it is because I went back in afterwards and got rid of one of the bats because I realized after filming this, I only needed 5 bats to complete the garland. So I actually went in, got rid of one of the bats, and made the ghosts a little bit bigger. So your mat that you've gotten from the digital download will just have one less bat, which you won't even need it anyways. All right, and then for easy cleanup, we just peel everything off. And if these dots that are left behind give you a hard time, you can just take a straight edge and scrape them away like that. Okay, now we're just going to take our twine. I have Christmas twine, which is kind of funny, but yeah, it's just all I had. You can use butcher's twine or baker's twine. I forget what it's called, but they have that on Amazon I've got before. Now when you string these ones, you don't want to go back to front. At first you want to go front to back, string it through, and then back to front for each character so that it's going through like that and the string is behind them. Also, to make things a little bit easier for yourself, you might want to tape the end of the string to your desk while you're stringing these guys. All right, so next we're going to go with a ghost. Remember, it's front to back, string it through, and then back to front just like that. So just make sure you put a bat in between every other character. So we're going to do bat, ghost, bat, pumpkin, bat, ghost, bat, pumpkin. There we go. Our second bat is on there. And now we're going to put our first pumpkin. So again, front to back, pull that through, and then back to front. And you will notice here the string getting a little frayed, so make sure you measure your string out first to know how much you'll need for wherever you plan to put it, and then give yourself some extra string for sure in case you ever want to cut the frayed edges off when you're stringing these. All right, so there is our finished garland with everybody on there. Of course, you can print this out as many times as you want, depending on how long you want your garland to be. And at the end of this video, you're going to see me just taping the string to the wall, but if you want to give it kind of a classier look, you can loop the ends of the string, just like I'm doing here, and then take those loops and put them on like a command strip hook or anything else you can hook it onto in your home. So it's totally up to you whether you want to tape them or not. Tape works fine too. But these are nice and lightweight garlands for whatever you want to hook them onto. And there you have it. Here I am just taping them onto the wall. And just kind of, these ones you're going to have to kind of like separate out again. But once they're in place, they stay in place really well. And just make sure everyone's faced forward. You can space them out as much as you like. Again, if you're decorating a larger space, you can just print out as many of these as you need. And here's our little kawaii characters. And I just love that. It looks so cute. Thank you for watching this one, and if it helped you out, you can help me out by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more arts and crafts videos. I also make a lot of how-to videos for anyone that's interested in opening their own small art shop online. If you want to see more of my work, you can do that on Instagram by following @KaylaDraws, and I'll see you over there or in the next one. Bye!